What is good, guys? Today we're working on this RX8 that we're doing an LS swap on. It is after hours right now, so we're doing catch-up work to catch up on all the backlogs so that everything's easier when we move into the new building. And it's kind of going to be a little bit boring and tedious, but we're going to be doing a whole bunch of all the brake lines and sorting that out because we've had to relocate and move where the ABS unit sits and things like that, because obviously an LS is not what was meant to be in this from the factory. So anyways, I'll throw you on the time lapse and let's get started. So a whole heap of the brake lines in the RX8, if you've ever worked on them, they come kinked and bent in certain ways, kind of a little bit like how you see this here. But and then it would kink off and come this way and up and down and all around different obstacles in the engine bay. But what we've got to do is actually we're straightening out the factory stuff. So before, this was literally like doing a 180 in bends. But now with this pipe straightener, we're able to get the whole thing out straight again. And the sucky thing is that Sam could spend hours on just one long piece. In fact, if we go back over here, this long piece here that we just put in before, that comes from the relocated ABS unit that's been raised and everything, that previously had other bends in there, and Sam straightened that whole piece out along there, which then comes along the back of the firewall down and connects there. It used to go under the car or something, under the motor. So it's a very tedious job, but these are the things that we do that end up saving the customer money in the long run, because in Australia these lines are actually quite expensive to get. Alright, so we've got the front left, well, right hand side right now, but front left brake caliper all piped in. So remember, that was the piece that Sam straightened out. We've rebent that and got that perfectly all lined up there for the port on the ABS unit that it needs to. It took us probably about an hour and a half, maybe an hour, just to get that perfect and result the result we needed. The hardest thing was right where we needed to trim it for the fitting that's to slide over. It had a little kink and a bend in it, so we had to make it even more straighter so that the fitting would slide up high enough for the flaring tool. So anyways, we're going to keep trucking along. I love looking at the kit that we've used here for the LS swap on this RX8. It's, from an engineering perspective, it's very interesting, especially see this extension piece here that moves the sway bar down here, and then if you can see in there's some hectic spaces in there that move the whole rack that little bit forward to create clearance for the front of the engine, because previously the sway bar used to be here, which then meant it would obviously hit the front of the block of the engine there. And if you have a look down here through the top, you can see what I mean. The sway bar literally used to be up in here. So it's kind of interesting. And then just how everything else has been kind of shifted. A few things have been tack welded and removed off, and we're gonna have to cut out a whole bunch more here for the headers and things like that to sort it to fit. We've got the plate on there now. Sammy's going to be making his own custom headers, but essentially they all need to go in here, but to get that in there perfect it's getting pretty close to the side of the chassis here, and all of that can be removed. It's not structural, so there'll be some nice kind of grooves and things like that in there. And overall, this swap's going to be pretty clean and look awesome. I know the brake lines is kind of not super entertaining right now, and it's a bit tedious and boring, but it's part of the swap. It's part of what you got to do for these things. And a lot of you guys are probably screaming at us going, why aren't you just using braided lines? And the customer specifically asked us not to, because when we priced it all up, the labor of us mucking around and rebending all of these still worked out cheaper than the braided lines. So that's what we're doing. It's a budget build, budget race car, I guess. So you know, it's just how things are. And then there's a lot of things that need to change on this as well. Like we need to get rid of this fuel rail setup because this isn't a return fuel rail kit. So we'll be putting a return fuel system on this instead of the only one-way fuel system that these things have on these crappy quick connect connectors that are just junk and break all the time. Anyways, sorry you guys, back on the time lapse and we'll get back to brake line stuff. Alright, so we're done for the night now. We got the master cylinder line that goes all the way down and connects to the master cylinder. We also got the front right and front left brakes all sorted out. So we've spent a few hours on it. What's the time now, babe? About 8:30. So we're doing okay. I mean, you can't really make massive leaps and things like that when you got to do tedious stuff like this. And I think me and Sammy have both agreed now that we're probably never going to muck around with factory lines ever again because it's such a pain in the butt. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of cool working on an LS Swapped RX8 nonetheless. One thing I did want to show you guys was this is a T56 gearbox mated up to 2JZ non-VVTi in this JZ80 Supra. You can't see much of it right now, but this is a customers of ours called Jet Ride, and he's actually been out there a few times on Friday night drifts and stuff when I've been there filming videos, so it's kind of cool to see this thing come in when it was previously NA 2JZ. Now it's got a turbo motor in there, T56 gearbox, and today Benny fabbed up this awesome reinforced gearbox mount, bolt straight into the chassis there, and he's working on a downpipe and exhaust and stuff for it as well, so a whole bunch of fun will be happening tomorrow. But tomorrow we're going to Rainbow Beach, so we're not going to be at the workshop, so it'll be a beach vlog tomorrow, which will be great as well. But otherwise, I'm going to help Sammy pack up, push all the cars in, put you guys back on time lapse, and we'll continue from there. Alright guys, and with that I'm going to wrap up this video. I know that today probably wasn't a super long video for you guys, but I was also filming another video which you'll see come out in a couple days, which is actually kind of really important. It's in relation to testing and pressure testing and stuff, intake manifolds and things like that, like product development things. It's kind of like halfway finished being filmed. And that's mainly because I got to wait for, like, you know, gasket, sealant and stuff to dry overnight and things like that. So my entire day was making a jig and a rig so that I could do pressure testing and stuff on intake manifolds. So you'll see that come out in a couple days, probably not tomorrow but the day after. So I'd say you'd probably see that Thursday. But yeah, things are just really hectic. I've got so much I need to do before I leave, and I'm like halfway through the trip already. So I need to start, like, anything that I was kind of procrastinating with or saying I can get that done later, I'll have plenty of time. It's now like I actually have to get it done now. So panicking a little bit today when I kind of realized all of that. And I feel like I wasted a whole bunch of time today, but it's all things that I need to do, and I've got a checklist that I got to keep going through. So I'm going to go through tonight and do a little bit more organization and kind of like check my calendar and see if I can schedule some more things in. That way my vlogs will be a little bit more consistent, as well as I'll make sure I get everything done that I've come here to do. So anyways, overall, great day. Love working on that RX8. I wish we could do something a little bit more hands-on than all the little brake lines and stuff like that, but these are the things that you need to still do when you're doing big projects like that. You got to do the little, like, pesky, annoying, tiny things that take you forever and don't give you that much satisfaction until everything's together, and then you remember those times and stuff like that. So I'm sure you can all relate. Anyways, I've been kind of rambling on. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you all in the next one. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. We're going to Rainbow Beach, so a little bit of a touristy kind of video tomorrow. And yeah, hit up all my social media down in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one. Ja mata ne.